For some reason, when I was preparing, the thought of marriage prep kept coming up in my mind, right? And the church asked couples when they're coming to be married to do a preparation, to contact the priest or the deacon at least 6 months before you plan to get married. We actually would like for you to contact us before you even set the date. There's a reason for that. But anyway, when we sit to do marriage prep, you get to know people, right? You get to know more about them, so to speak. And I always tell the men, the grooms, when they come, I said, look, you're going to have a long, happy marriage as long as you can remember this one thing. That what's hers is hers, and what's yours is hers. As long as you remember that, you're going to have a long, happy marriage, right? So anyway, we go into marriage prep. We do the little focus profile thing. And one couple that always comes to mind when I think about these profiles, right, is that, most of the time they do the profile and we get together and we kind of review it. And it's just to tell us how much they know about each other. How strong their relationship is, other than all of the visual stuff, right? Do they really know who it is that they're planning to marry? This one couple, and it usually takes about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. It depends on how much chit-chat we do in it to review it. Well, this one couple took 3 hours to go through the review. And we didn't chit-chat. Believe it or not, I can do that without chit-chatting. So anyhow, it come to find out that this couple, they were living together. They had a child together. And when I gave my review to the priest, because he had asked me to do this for him, to take care of that part, I told him, I said, it seems to me that these people are strangers in the same house. They had no idea who each other were. So he sat with them, and he said he was going to work with them, and eventually, he said, we're gonna talk. So he had them postpone the wedding so that they could work on that relationship. You see, the difference is that part of that whole process is about getting to know the person better, right? And as Catholic Christians, we have to ask ourselves, do I know about Jesus Christ? Or do I really know who Jesus Christ is? You see, because we can know about anybody. We can go, you can do a Google search now and just find out anything you want to know about the people in your neighborhood or whatever. We can find out about anyone. But unless we have that relationship, we don't really get to know who the person is. And you see, that's what Jesus Christ is telling us, and that's why I kind of equate this to marriage prep, right? Because when a married couple gets together and they start to learn more and more about each other, the love actually deepens, it grows. And there's a communication, right? And one of the things on that profile, the question that I always like, and it says, and the couples always get it wrong, because it says, everything will be okay as long as we love each other. I see some of y'all faces that y'all don't believe that. Because once you have the experiences, you know that it takes more than just love to get through some of the trials. I mean, love is the important thing, but we have to have that strengthened relationship, right? Jesus is telling us in the gospel that to be able to strive for that narrow gate, to strive for that relationship with Him, that we can be strong enough in our faith that nothing will distract us from that narrow gate, so that we can make it to heaven. See, I like to ask the question, and I worked a retreat last weekend, and I asked a question: what is the meaning of life? What is the meaning of life? Anybody remember from the Baltimore Catechism, what is the meaning of life? It's to love God, to serve God in this life, so that we can live forever with Him in the next. That's the meaning of life. See, that's what our life goal has to be. To deepen our relationship with Jesus Christ. To strengthen our relationship with Him. Not to just know about Him, but to know Him. And how do we get to know him? How do we get to know who Jesus Christ is and how important he is in our daily lives? And yesterday I told him, I said, I promised myself I wasn't going to say it, but I had to anyway. My favorite quote from St. Francis de Sales: it's the simplest way to get to know who Jesus Christ is. And his quote is, he says that everyone needs a half an hour of prayer every day, unless you're busy. Then you need an hour. And he's telling us the busier we get in this life means that there's more distractions that keep us from focusing on the next. So we have to give more time to Jesus. And the more time we give him, the more time he gives us. I read something the other day that said if we neglect our prayer in the morning because we think we don't have time, we'll never accomplish everything we had to do that day. But if we make sure that we do our prayer, if we give that time to Christ every morning, we're going to accomplish more than we ever thought we could. Because you see, God can multiply our time. But we have to surrender it to him first. Just like with the loaves and the fish. See, Jesus multiplied the loaves and the fish and fed the 5,000 or 10,000 or 15, whatever it was. But first, the boy had to surrender that to Jesus. And just like that, God can multiply our time. And I always say that we don't have time to pray, we make time to pray. We have to have that appointment with Jesus Christ every day. We have to communicate with him every day. And it's not just about reciting prayers. And it's also stopping and listening so that he can guide us. Is our faith strong enough that we can strive for that narrow gate? Is our faith, are we willing to surrender that time to Jesus Christ each and every day so our love for him, our faith in him can grow deeper, our knowledge of him can grow deeper? To not just know about him, but to know him. There's a difference. Can we say that our faith is that strong? Can we say that we are striving for that narrow gate? Can we say that I am willing to allow Christ to take over my life? Just to let you know that sometimes in marriage prep, sometimes we get it right and sometimes we get it wrong. My wife and I went to see the priest when we wanted to get married, and he told us, he said, well, get married by justice of the peace and come back in a year. And he said, if you're still married, then I'll bless your marriage. November is going to be 47 years. He got it wrong. But this couple that I was talking about, they went to meet with the priest a couple of times. They called off the wedding altogether. And I ran into the bride a couple of years later, and she was married to someone else. Sometimes we get it right. But we have to ask ourselves, do I know about Jesus Christ? Or do I really know him?